Okay, so James Gunn just revealed a couple days ago the new slate for movies and projects for DC, and this plan is going to be taking place over the next 10 years. So I sat and watched the announcement, the James Gunn announcement, and I was excited, but at the same time confused and a little concerned about some of the stuff he said. So he started off by saying that everything they start doing from now on, everything, TV, movie, animation, gaming, everything is gonna be connected in some sort of way. Like they're gonna try to bring everyone that plays them in live action to voice and do the work in other stuff. They're gonna be creating a new label for the stuff outside of the mainstream DC continuity, the Matt Reeves Batman, the Jokers, all that stuff they do outside of the main DC continuity is gonna be labeled DC's Elseworld. And I thought that was a pretty smart idea because to this day, I still hear people saying, is that Batman the same as the other Batman but younger? You know, I'm talking about the Robert Pattinson Batman. Some people still think that is in some way connected to the other Zack Snyder's Batman. There's a very smart way to tell audiences, yeah, this is nothing to do with these other stuff that we're doing here. That's what they do in the comics. They label things different ways so people don't get things mixed up. And I think that's a very smart move they did with this. Then James Gunn goes on to announce that this new phase 1, this new chapter 1 of the DCEU is gonna be called Gods and Monsters. And I gotta agree, that's a pretty badass name for your first phase. And it's kind of irrelevant really whether you call it whatever, but if we're gonna go with how it sounds, this is a pretty good name. Then we move on to the projects in this new DCEU, and the first project he announced was Creatures Commando, or Creature Commando, I'm not sure. Yeah, Creature Commando. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I have no clue what the fuck this is. First time ever hearing about this. And being James Gunn, I'm not surprised at all because he's known for taking these very obscure IP, obscure characters and just making them everyone's favorite. That's what he does. That's his thing. He takes his very unrecognizable, nobody knows about these characters, and I bet when this comes out, that is gonna be the talk of the town, because that's what he does best. He takes characters that nobody knows about and makes them super popular, gives them very compelling and touching backstories and personalities that people just love, and I'm sure it's gonna be great. Apparently Weasel is gonna come back from the Suicide Squad movie, and this is what I mean concerning when I said I was a little bit concerned, because this is supposed to be a new blank slate, but he's still carrying shit over from the old DCEU, and my question is, what are you resetting exactly? What are you bringing back? Why the hell is Henry Cavill not coming back, but Weasel is? I don't get it, because I was okay, like when they announced, oh, Henry Cavill is not gonna be Superman anymore, I was like, all right, well, this is all new, a new slate, they're gonna reboot everything, it makes sense that he doesn't come back because, you know, he's not from that universe. But if you're gonna bring shit over from the other one, what's the point? I'm sure everything's gonna be fine. I'm sure he has everything figured out. He didn't even reveal everything in that announcement. It was just part of it. But still, it's a little concerned. I was a little concerned with that little detail right there. Anyway, that Creature Commando thing is supposed to be a TV show, an animated TV show, and I'm sure it's gonna be great. Then we move on to Waller, bringing back Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, and I'm thinking this is gonna bring back Peacemaker too. I'm sure Peacemaker is gonna be part of that show, and the old Amanda Waller crew. This is what I meant earlier. They're bringing stuff over from the other DCEU, and yeah. Although if you're gonna bring something over, Viola Davis is not a bad addition to your new universe. Then we move on to what he called the real beginning of the new DCEU, and it's called Superman Legacy. This new Superman movie, new everything. He's writing the movie, which made me really excited about it. And apparently there's a release date already for this movie, and it's July 11, 2025. It's gonna come out before the new Matt Reeves Batman, like the Batman Part 2. That's gonna come before that, so yeah. He explained a little bit of what this movie is gonna be about. It's gonna be about Superman kind of dealing with his Kryptonian roots, but also his human upbringing. And that is a very interesting movie. That sounds like what Man of Steel 2 should have been about, but they never did that movie. So I'm pretty happy they're bringing those themes over to this movie. Next on is a live-action TV series called Lanterns, and this is apparently gonna bring over Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and it's gonna be his words, a true detective type show in space, and they're gonna be uncovering a bigger mystery that ties in the mainstream continuity. And yeah, that sounds cool. I'm gonna admit, I'm not the biggest Lanterns fan. The only relation I have with the Green Lantern characters is that old Ryan Reynolds movie that came out a couple years ago, and that wasn't real good, so it kind of turned me off to the Green Lanterns. But this sounds very spectacular, very compelling, and yeah, I'm interested. You're catching my attention here, James. Next up is Paradise Lost, and this is supposed to be a Game of Thrones type of show based on the island Themyscira, from where Wonder Woman is from. And that sounds like a very promising premise, because there's a whole ton of characters that you can introduce in this show. You don't really need Wonder Woman for it to be good, because they're all kind of Wonder Woman in their own right. Then he knows what I was probably most excited about from this, and it's the new Batman. The new Batman movie is gonna be called Batman the Brave and the Bold, and they're gonna bring Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne is Bruce Wayne's son, and he was raised by assassins, straight up assassins, and he's a little firecracker, that kid. And Bruce always tries to keep him in line, and yeah, he is as smart as Bruce, so he kind of talks smack to Bruce and he talks back to him. So those back and forth are gonna be so cool, so good to see. I'm sure they have a great concept for it. And he mentioned the Bat Family, the introduction to the Bat Family. So I'm guessing we're gonna get maybe Nightwing, maybe Red Hood. I'm sure they're gonna work that out very smoothly in this. Next up is a live action TV show called Booster Gold. I know nothing about Booster Gold, but the description alone hooked me. So this loser from the future comes to the past with future technology that makes him look like a superhero. And there's a lot of comedy that can be pulled out of that, but also a lot of compelling storytelling, and that is key for the resurrection of this new DCU. Because seriously, this has been the biggest announcement DC has had since, I believe, Batman vs Superman. This is the biggest thing they ever had, and they gotta nail it, or they're gonna be dead for another 10 years. Next up is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and the description he did for this, he said it's gonna be based on last couple of years Tom King run on Supergirl. And I didn't read that. I read other Tom King books like Rorschach. The new Rorschach book is really good, but this is gonna be based on Tom King's Supergirl. And he described it as Supergirl was raised on a very different conditions, very harsh conditions. And Superman was raised on Earth with loving parents, and Supergirl was raised on Krypton with people dying around her. And that's gonna be an interesting dichotomy when they meet, because I'm sure they're gonna pair them up. And last but not least, this announcement really surprised me, caught me off guard. They're gonna make a Swamp Thing horror film, and that is just, yes, please give me that. He said that it was gonna be outside the DC continuity, but it's still gonna be connected in some way. I don't know what he meant by that, but just the concept of a Swamp Thing horror film. Swamp Thing is one of the most powerful, interesting, disturbing characters in the DC sphere, and for them to bring horror and make a horror movie out of that, it's just, yeah, I'm all on board. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on DC's new slate for the next 10 years. Have you heard about this? What are your thoughts? What is the thing that you're most excited about? Let me know down in the comments below. Remember to follow me at caffeine.prince98 on Instagram and at NJ Ultra Flick Show on TikTok. I don't have Twitter because I hate it, and Facebook is for the memes. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.